Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Good, alhamdulillah. I'm so blessed to be continuing this series with 30 questions and 30 topics in 30 days. We've been doing a little bit about zakat, and so I wanted to ask you to continue to ask you about the calculation of zakat. So, whenever studying zakat or listening to lectures about it, this word nisab is always mentioned. So, as someone who has no idea how to calculate nisab or what it is, so first off, what is it technically? How is it defined?
Literal translation is difficult. Nisab in the zakat context means zakat threshold, or minimum zakatable wealth. That your wealth or your assets should reach to a certain minimum value. That after that you are going to give 2.5% zakat on it. So that's what literally means. How do you calculate? So back in the days, they didn't have currency, cash paper currency, what we have nowadays. They had primarily, when we talk about currency, gold and silver. That's what very common, dirham and dinar in Arabian Peninsula. The Rasulullah Sallallahu in hadith of Abu Dawud, he said that there are two different nisabs, for one is for gold, one is for silver. So he would say that if you have 595 grams silver, then you should, or more, then you should give 2.5% on it. And if you have 85-gram gold or more, then you should give zakat on it. And if you have bits and pieces of both and it just merges, reaches to the minimum level, then you should also give zakat on it. So it's allowed to basically merge. There's a detail to it. So basically what it means in our times, most of us doesn't have silver nowadays. And even if we have gold, we don't use it as a currency. Our wives will wear that. So now how you will going to Google it, what's today's price if I'm taking my zakat today of per gram gold price and per gram silver price. So you will going to find out that, okay, 595 gram silver will going to calculate this much amount, around 495 to 500 US dollar today in today's price. And if you were going to calculate the gold price per gram, and you will multiply that with 85 gram, which is a nisab level, then you're going to get around 5,000 amount. That's the nisab today. Okay, now which nisab we should use? Should we use the nisab of silver, which is $500, or should we use the nisab of gold, which is around 5,000 US dollar? Back in the days, the price was not that fluctuating, which we have nowadays. The gold prices went up and the silver prices came so low. So now what we have to do, Hanafis and Hanbalis, they would say we have to go with what will benefit the poor. And the poor will get benefit if you are going to consider silver nisab, that's $500. So if you have more than $500 in your account, more than your basic needs, then you should give 2.5% on it, so that poor will going to receive that. Shafi'is and later Malikis, they went with no. You should basically go with the gold nisab, that is $5,000 or more. So if you have, let's say, $3,000 in your account, don't worry about the zakat. That's what Shafi and later Maliki say. But if you have, let's say, 10,000 US dollar, anything beyond the gold nisab, which is around 5,000 US dollar, then you have to give zakat. So there is a disagreement. You will find even scholars have a disagreement between each other. For the American Muslim community, you can follow whatever you want, because obviously this disagreement is coming from scholars. I usually advise to the people by looking at their circumstances, but following the gold opinion in the nisab here, especially when the gold prices have gone so up and silver prices have gone so down. Considering gold as a definition of the poor and needy in nisab will be better for us, as some of the contemporary scholars also selected gold as a nisab. But again, if you want to follow the Hanafi and Hanbali opinion, classical opinion, that will be fine. So what it means from a practical standpoint, now that's the practical solution. If you have more than 500 US dollar in your bank account, which is beyond your basic needs, then according to Hanafi and Hanbali, you have to give 2.5% on it. If you have if you're a Shafi or Maliki, if you have more than 5,500 US dollar, let's say, then you have to give zakah or 2.5%. But if you have less than 5,000 US dollar, you don't have to give zakah, because Shafi and later Maliki scholars would calculate based on the gold, and gold prices have gone up, so their nisab won't reach until you reach to the 5,000 US dollar. So this is basically the summary of it.
Okay, awesome. Just to reiterate very quickly for anybody who's trying to take notes or follow along, you Google gold or silver market value, and you multiply that. For gold, you multiply it by how much, Imam Asif?
For gold, 85 gram gold,
85, and for silver,
595 gram.
595. There are many zakat calculators out there. We have one at Worcester Islamic Center as well. So if you would like, you can email the address that you've seen on the screen and we'll be able to get it to you. Thank you for taking the time to explain that to us, Imam Asif. We will see you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.